What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another daily hacked. And today we're going to talk a little bit about Canva because, at the end of the day, not everybody is like Mr. Ron Cool over there and can actually do fun things on all kinds of different graphic platforms. They're more like me that can't do diddly squat when it comes to graphics. So let's talk a little bit about something that more people like me can actually handle. And Ron, welcome. How's it going?
It is going great. As you can see, I'm in my office. Not really. Still
Yeah,
sitting on the
someday
bed.
you'll have a real office again.
At some point, man. At some point. What a crazy, crazy, crazy week.
Yeah, well, maybe tomorrow we'll get into some about that craziness and how we're going to turn it into some positiveness. But today, I definitely, as we talk Canva a little bit
Yeah.
specifically, like I know you're doing some teaching a little bit later, helping some folks out, and so I just thought it would be a good time to showcase some of the things you can do or have done on Canva specifically, because again, more people like me can actually handle it. But first and foremost, for those that may be new to listening or joining, don't share your screen yet because I want to help you tell a
I don't
story.
know why I did that. I don't know
Uh,
why I did that.
but for those people that haven't heard or seen your story about how long you've been involved in kind of graphic design, I'd love to kind of hear that. The reason that you're almost 50 and your mom is still mad at you story. That's a pretty fun one. So tell everyone what's going on there.
Oh my gosh. So I love drawing and graphics and went to school for computer graphics. In my junior year of high school, I was 16 going on 17. I was a young graduate. I graduated at 17. And I was offered a full ride scholarship to the Walt Disney School of Drawing, which was all around computer graphics. And, since you said my age, if I would have done that, I would have been working on Toy Story because that's what, kind of the progression would have been. Um, so hate that movie, but let's talk about it. So at 17, I did a lot of partying and school was not a high priority for me and I would have had to move to California, right? And I was like, gosh, I just need a break from school like for a year. That's all I need. I'll be 18. I can have a little bit more freedom at 18 than 17, especially in a different state and in school. I'll just say no and I'll go next year. No big deal, right? Zero big deal. Okay. One, they don't like being told no. I didn't get a full ride scholarship the year after. And I mean, just I got married to my first wife the very next year. So, like, total different life trajectory, right?
Right.
So, yeah, my mom's never forgiven me on the passing up of going to California to do graphics and stuff because that was my passion. That's what I wanted to do. And I have a lot of other stories kind of that I was able to use my graphics. And I did look at going into graphics as a career all those years ago. However, had a kid, like at 18, almost 18, had a kid. And I needed to like have food on the table and all that jazz, right? So that slowly went deuces. And it was always just kind of a fun little hobby.
Yeah, yeah. Until we slid back into it now
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
our agency. But I know pre agency when we were doing a lot of stuff for different coaching and more in
Mhm.
person masterminds and that kind of thing. You still did our graphics,
Right.
and I want to hear a little bit about how many programs are out there, from the things that you pay for and use to the free things that you've I forget what program it was, but I remember you were making a couple of logos for us at one point, and you were just playing with this other program, and gosh, I wish I could remember, but it was like the number of like cuts and angles and movements you had to make by pixel almost on this because it wasn't necessarily something that a normal person like me could use, but it was
Yeah.
still a freer thing, I think.
Yeah. I mean, there's obviously the Adobe suites, Illustrator, Photoshop, and all those things.
Right.
I'm more of a Mac person when it comes to drawing, but I think when we first started, I wasn't using a Mac, and that's when I was like, all right, if we're gonna get into this computer stuff, I need to get back to my Mac so I can like do stuff. But there's a ton of free things out there, or even Windows. You could do. You could even use PowerPoint, like if you really had to. It's not fun, easy, or whatever. I mean, there's Paint. I mean, there's so many. There's endless numbers of stuff out there. It's hard to say, but
Maybe it was PowerPoint or Paint
yeah,
that you used in
yeah,
regards to. I just remember like you were playing with every single pixel
yeah.
because it wasn't a natural, easy thing.
No, we were trying to make a video out of something that wasn't really made to make a video, but I did have all my video editing stuff that I have now. And I was just trying to do it free, right?
Right.
Because we didn't have any money to put into it. And it was like, all right, so how do we do it for free?
Right. And that's why I wanted to bring it up because
Yeah.
there's so many options out there on the free side. And then kind of I don't know, and maybe I'm wrong, but the best, absolute, most professional, best free thing you could find, in my opinion, I think, on the graphics side, is around Canva,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so then, and so that's what kind of brought us to this conversation. Like people can start without a dollar in the bank, right? Like if they
Yep.
have a computer, they can sign up for Canva and do some free things there. And so, and then again, people like me probably could figure it out. I know I still can't, but if you're running solo and you don't have a Ron working with you, then you have to figure it out.
Right. Right. I mean, I'll tell you, I do a lot of stuff in other things. Like we have clients that wanted shells for quote cards and those kind of things in Canva. And so there were some pieces that I was doing in another program. Some I'll do right onto Canva, but most of it's in another program. And then I figure out how to re-engineer it onto Canva so they can interact with it and change it and move things.
Right.
Uh, that way they can use it because that's the platform of their choice.
Right. Right. So, and then just same with our audio, right? Like we teach people how to use Easy Audio Mixer because if you're going to do it, you don't want to probably spend a bunch of money on a, more expensive software, right? Like get one that's
Right.
$10.
Right.
And so that's what we teach, even though that's not what we use for our traditional stuff. So for Canva, I think you have an example ready. So
Yeah.
for those of you that are listening, we'll talk through it. For those of you that are watching, definitely thank you. And this is live in Facebook and YouTube. And then if you're listening and you want to see it, just head on over to our Facebook group and join, and then you can watch every one of our daily hacks as well as our
Yep.
interviews. So, but yeah, so just an example of what, and this wasn't even a client of ours. This was
Nope.
somebody that you
Just a
just
friend.
wanted to do something nice for
Right.
and help her so that way she can handle it on her own.
Yeah. And she's tried to pay me, and I don't accept it. it was literally just she was about to do a relaunch on a podcast. She uses Canva, and she wanted just a refresh, a re-up of her graphics and a guest shell. And so I'll just bring up kind of what we did, and I'll walk us through it here. Nope, that's ours. Where's it at? Here we go. I was trying to put some stuff and get ready for a masterclass that I'm teaching later. But here is Jackie's. Jackie's original cover art was a background of an ocean with waves kind of hitting up on the beach. It says "Beyond Retirement, Your Journey to Freedom." Picture of her and her name at the bottom. Okay.
And what do you like about this original design that she did. And again, for people, for a podcast cover art, you have very little real estate,
Correct.
right? So you've got limited words that you want here. In our program, we teach all this stuff of what we'd put and why, and how we'd use that real estate. But for you, is there anything specific that you liked about this original design? Or why or why not? Why not?
I liked the use of the space, right? Because she put the beyond retirement up in the negative space of the sky, and kind of framed it up there. I would have went up just a little bit higher because I'm a symmetrical person, so I thought it was a little bit lower to the ocean. I liked the imagery of it, and I did enjoy. It does help her stand out, especially with the purple bottom. That is a complete contrast to everything else that's going on.
Yeah, and so for me, just again, a non-graphics person, I'm definitely there's certain colors I'm even colorblind to, so definitely don't question me on any kind of graphical stuff. But I like her picture is very big
Yes.
in the majority, like her face. That's a bust picture, but I like the whole, it takes up a half of the actual space on the cover art. So that was one piece I did like.
Mm-hmm.
And then I that's funny. I didn't love the purple. It seems out of place, and I also thought Beyond Retirement was too low because like there's a sun that's rising or setting in the Beyond the Ocean in there, but your journey to freedom, it's the Y is like almost takes away from that sun.
Right. Yeah. No, and that's where if it's moved up a little bit, it makes sense.
Exactly.
Now for me, when we were talking and kind of I can go into like the next iteration a little bit. Um, you know, is she into travel? There was a lot of people that as she was talking, it was more just really about building the lifestyle beyond retirement. But this imagery and some of her other imagery that she would post online would be, you could almost say she was either a travel agent or trying to help people travel or trying to help people go on vacation. And that's not what it was about.
Yeah, I would have thought that too, 100%. Like, oh, okay, this is Jackie's going to teach me how to go sit on a beach or travel to a beach or hang out, on vacation after I retire.
Correct.
That's
Correct.
what my
So,
interpretation was.
yeah, and this truly was what are people doing after retirement? I mean, so how are you living free? And it was, it could be that, but that's not what she was wanting to teach in the future. So I was like, okay, let's think about that. We did talk about some colors that really wanted to, pop her brand, which her brand is beyond retirement, right? That's the
Mm-hmm.
brand. And really focus on her, the brand, and her name. And take everything else away. So it's less busy and a little bit more clean and crisp.
Okay, let's see it.
Okay. So we made this shirt because that shirt doesn't exist that she's wearing. It says retired inspired. I don't know if she even made it yet, but it said something else and she wanted it to say that because that really talks about being inspired to do something else when you're retired. And it has the beyond retirement in a very unique placement. It takes the place of pretty much the whole half of the left side. It's going to pop because of how the black is behind it. And she wanted the black and the red coloring, and we just kind of faded between the two colors. So the wording is with the black behind it, so it pops. And then her image is more of a fuller body, but it's still large, and it pops on that red. And then her name is bordered in a dark black, so it matches her outfit she's wearing, and I feel looks very upscale.
Yeah, and so for those, again, picture this square image on a podcast. If you went and looked at this tiny little space, and to what Ron was explaining, beyond retirement is actually across the entire vertical left side, and it's actually like B is on the bottom, going along the side all the way up to D, with retirement underneath. And it's real crisp, real clean. Beyond is big and bold. Retirement, it takes the same exact length from the top to the bottom, going across. And then it is black behind the white wording lettering with the fading into the red, which is red behind Jackie's picture and wearing the black outfit. Now, what I like about it is she is having fun, retired, inspired. Like that is, it does not make me once whatsoever think vacation, think that kind of stuff. Whereas before, that's what I was thinking, right? So now this is more true to what she's trying to talk about, what she's trying to teach and help people with.
Correct. And then she also wanted guest art that was a little bit different because before there wasn't a way to really showcase her guest. So we came up with this, and I actually was the first person that was on her podcast that used this artwork. So it was kind of fun. But she's still on it. She's having fun. She's pointing up to me. I'm having fun pointing back down to her. And my name's on there. Her name's not on there because this is literally a guest art shell. And then her shell is right underneath it. She can, type in a name, add a graphic right here, and call it a day.
So now every time she records an episode, she takes a picture of a client or a guest, types in their name, puts in their graphic, and then moves on.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
Perfect. Well, I think it's well done. I definitely think it explains, it helps her showcase what she's truly doing differently than before. And now she doesn't need to worry about anything. She can actually just do it herself because she had someone like you design an easy shell for her or template, graphical template or something, right? Like she now can utilize that at any time. And so, sorry guys, this is a little bit longer of a daily hack. We are 7 minutes over, but I think it's important information, right? Like I think there's so many things that people can do for free. And obviously our version of Canva is also paid for, but everything that we just showed you or talked about, you can do for free.
Yep, absolutely. And that was the whole purpose of it, so what can you do? And the masterclass later is literally what can people do as soon as they get off the masterclass in Canva for social. So that's the whole point of it.
Perfect. All right. Well, hopefully you guys all enjoyed this teaser to Canva. And again, if you're like me and you need help with graphics, either hire a Ron Cool or go get Canva for free. And I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out. So, all right, everyone. Thanks so much. And we'll see you on the next episode.
Bye, guys.